Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. They've been around for 100 years. They've seen this stuff, crazy stuff in our country. When it comes to waterproofing your home, your basement, or your project, the right materials and the right advice are just a phone call or web click away. Check out aghines.com this week. Now, they are open. If you go in there, they are practicing the 6-foot separation, social distancing rule. They can still answer all your questions. They got all the stuff you need. They also offer curbside service right now. A.G. Hines Company, just a tremendous part of this community for a century. I can't get over it. I've got a client on the show that has been around for 100 years. A.G. Hines Company. Our local businesses need you, folks. Get out and visit them this week. All right. UT Athletic Director Phillip Fulmer met with the media this past week, and I thought he did a terrific job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought, to be honest, we talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show. I underestimated. I've always thought you don't have to have a local guy do this and that. You look at Nick Saban in Alabama. He's not from Alabama. You don't have to have that. But Phillip Fulmer coming in, I think, calmed the fan base. I think there are things that have happened that people would have freaked out over. I think the freak out over Georgia State would have been much larger if Jeremy Pruitt hadn't been hired by Phillip Fulmer. So I thought him going out there and speaking this week, I thought he did an excellent job. I thought he looked like the most professional, calm politician we've seen in this state so far. I've seen him a lot more than our governor. I don't know where he is. But I thought Phillip Fulmer did a good job. Your thoughts?
Totally agree. And his opening message included we need to set aside competition, and I think everybody recognizes how competitive Phillip Fulmer is as a coach, as an athletic director, and he said let's set that aside and help young people understand what we're doing here and understand that time is going to be needed, patience is going to be needed, but the way that he delivered the message, Phillip Fulmer is somebody that Tennessee fans from an athletic standpoint have looked to believe, and I think setting athletics aside with this topic, the same applies.
Vince, let me show you some of the comments here that Phillip Fulmer made, if we can get these on the screen. There we go. If there's one thing that our volunteer spirit has prepared us for, it's to unite for the sake of the greater good. We have and will continue to make efforts to address the coronavirus through a community lens. All of us must continue to do all that we can to reduce the risk of exposure and the spread of this awful virus. It was so pleasing to me to sit down with our head coaches a week ago or whenever it was. Hey guys, the season's over. There were some high hopes about championships out there. About a couple of the sports, that's essentially not there now. But everybody was on the same page. Everybody felt the greater good was more important. The chancellor said something a couple of days ago I thought was super important. She was talking to her son and she said, you're isolating yourself and your friend so that your friend's grandfather can enjoy his grandchildren. This is all about somebody else, and I hope our millennials and I hope our young people will realize this is about somebody else and not just them. And I hope it's not just millennials. I mean, I'm driving by places and they're still just jam-packed to the gills, and while I'm all for supporting local business, I'm not for stupidity. That doesn't mean everyone should be clustered in the same spot. But I thought, Sean Payton has the New Orleans Saints coach. He has coronavirus. He came out and talked about it. Multiple athletes, Marcus Smart of the Celtics this week came out and said, I've got it. Be prepared. I think it would be wise across the country for schools to use their football coaches to spread that message. But here in Tennessee, if I'm the Knoxville mayor, if I'm the Knox County mayor, if I'm the governor, I'm putting in a phone call to Phillip Fulmer or to Peyton Manning and say, hey, just record something on your phone for us. Because those voices are beloved, are trusted, and if they do it as well as Phillip Fulmer did, and I think Peyton Manning would, Rick Barnes could, I think that could go a long way to getting people to take this a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, we saw, as you guys talked about, how well Phillip Fulmer did in his meeting with the press earlier this week. Last week. It was about 25 minutes. I mean, he did a great job of putting athletics in the right position in the big picture where we're at. And I think that was an important message to get across. And he's shown the leadership. So much has improved at the University of Tennessee since he took over in that position. And I don't know why those things aren't already out there and utilizing the big names, the prominent sports figures at the University of Tennessee in past and present. I mean, look at the job Ed Orgeron did with his PSA. I mean, that's got national attention. Those kind of things I think can be very valuable, especially when people connected to football that, hey, if I don't take this seriously, we could lose football later on. They don't have to say it like that, but I think it's kind of sends an underlying message that, hey, these are things we need to take seriously by the people that they trust.
Yeah, fans will listen to these people. They listen to Grant Williams, Josh Dobbs. I would utilize the resources.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got them. Use
Yeah.
them. All right, very good. When we come back, stars where they shouldn't be. Bruce Pearl, anyone? We'll discuss all that. Come on back on the Sports Source.